In today's video, we're talking about spouses living in two different states during your marriage adjustment of status case, some tips, and how to best present your case. Hi guys, my name is Ksenia. I make videos for people who are going through the family-based green card process. I'm not an attorney. My videos are based on public information, my own experience, and the experience of my subscribers. And the purpose of my channel is to give you guys the confidence to go through this process completely on your own. So, like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, this is for those of you who are going through the marital adjustment of status case, but you and your spouse happen to live in different states. While it is not a complete disqualifier of your marriage green card case, spouses living in different states may have to go through additional scrutiny. So one of the things that will most definitely happen in your case, if you and your spouse live in different states, is that you will be most likely invited to a green card interview. Of course, for the most part, in 2025, we're seeing an increase in marriage green card interviews in general. But I do want to tell you that even in the past few years, when a lot of marital interviews were waived, the spouses who lived apart in different states, for the most part, were still invited for an interview. USCIS officers firstly wanted to see if both spouses will show up to the interview in the first place, and also they usually would want to clarify during the interview why you live apart. Now, to get ahead of this issue, one of the things you can do is to actually present a testimony or a signed statement explaining why you live apart to make sure that a USCIS officer understands that this is just a temporary arrangement and for what reason. And how do you plan to establish your future life together? How soon it will actually happen, and what steps are you currently taking to maintain your marital relationship? Which brings me to my second point. You want to supplement your case with lots of additional bona fide marital evidence. And I'm not only talking about photographs or trips, booking confirmations. Those are all great pieces of evidence, but they're not as strong as financial and legally binding pieces of evidence. For example, filing your taxes together as married filing jointly, or having each other on health insurance, life insurance, car insurance, etc. Also, make an effort to visit your spouse as much as possible. USCIS wants to make sure that you do make an effort to go see your spouse, especially during important dates like holidays or dates that are related to your marriage and your relationship in general. And finally, I do get this question a lot. Spouses who live in different locations, what address do we use on the forms and where do we send our cases? On your forms, you should be writing your physical address exactly as it is now. So if you and your spouse are located in two different states, you should be writing exactly in those states where you're located. But for the mailing address portion, I do recommend that you choose one of the spouse's addresses to use as a mailing address for all USCIS correspondence and even for your evidence. Now, where to send your file? For spouses who are eligible for concurrent filing, so like a spouse of a U.S. citizen who is eligible to file I-130 and I-485 at the same time, if you live in different states, it is likely that the address where you must send your I-130 petition will be different to the address where you must send your I-485 application, because the I-130 petition belongs to the petitioner, so to the lockbox facility that is associated with the address of the petitioner. And I-485 and all the rest of the forms will generally be mailed to the lockbox facility that is associated with the beneficiary's address. So in that case, to avoid confusion and avoid splitting up all the forms, send the I-130 petition online through the petitioner's USCIS account. And the rest of the forms, such as the I-485, the affidavit of support, the medical exam, the employment and travel authorizations, those forms can then be sent by mail to the lockbox facility associated with the beneficiary's address. Of course, don't forget to include the copy of the I-130 online receipt notice in your packet to make sure that USCIS can locate and connect the two cases. Additionally, in the I-130 petition, in part of the application that asks where the beneficiary will apply for adjustment of status, you would want to indicate the field office that is closely located to the beneficiary's current residence. But do keep in mind that you will have to travel to that location when your interview will be scheduled. And a final bonus tip for spouses who are in the military. Your spouse may not be able to attend the marriage green card interview because they are deployed or stationed somewhere else and are unable to leave their location. USCIS does have a policy for these situations. Your best bet is to keep your interview date and simply attend it alone. But do provide proof of your military spouse's ID and their current assignment. So I hope that you found this video useful. I hope that you're able to navigate this process freely without any difficulties. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, and I hope to see you guys in my next videos. Bye!